So in our previous lesson, we're able to track our footage, and we're able to actually, we had the 3D camera tracker, which created this 3D camera and this text that actually moves along with our footage. And so it actually looks like that text was just kind of propped up on the side of the island here, and we can just move along, and looks like it's just integrated pretty much. But that's not exactly where we want the text to be. And some of the problems that we had were that when we took a look at our 3D camera tracker, our 3D camera tracking points, that actually the ones that were on the water would not work because they disappeared because water is moving. And so that's why we had to attach it to the rock here. So now let's go ahead and we're going to grab our text layer, and you can either just double click that text, or you can double click over here on this text layer, and it'll actually allow you to edit the text. So let's go ahead and type in, maybe we'll do all caps, and we'll type in Alcatraz. And then let's add a nice little, some information about it. So we'll say that it closed, and this one I'll just do sentence case. So it's closed on March 21st, 1963. And we'll select that text, and we'll decrease it a little. So that looks pretty good. Maybe we'll even make this like a black. And we can increase the size of this text a little. Just nudge that up a little. Maybe we'll select it all and maybe even center it all. And then we'll actually even, let's decrease our leading or our spacing. So that looks pretty good. Now all we need to do is we just need to take this text and we need to move it over a little. So let's just grab our handle for our X. So this is a 3D object now. And you can see that we have some different ways to view the handles here. We have the local axis, world axis, and we have the view axis. We're going to select our world axis because we want to just kind of keep this in line with our world here. We're going to move this text over just a little, about right here, and we're going to also move it down a little. But we want to make sure though that when we move in our timeline that it's not doing anything strange. And so if you've gotten to this point and your text is starting to swivel or do something like that, then you didn't get a good enough tracking point. And so you might need to start over and make sure that that you actually had the correct point selected. And so, you know, this happens all the time. It's not, you know, anything to get discouraged about, because if you're tracking something that has a surface that has these bumps and things like this, then it's kind of hard to get like a nice accurate track. So if this were really, really easy, then, you know, we would be done already. So now that we have our text is about how we want it, we actually want to make another little adjustment. Since this rock face it's kind of hard to tell, but it leans back a little bit. So After Effects is actually taking that information and it actually leaned our text back, but we actually want it to just kind of rotate forward a little. So let's go ahead and hit Shift R, and we're going to go along our X axis, and let's go ahead and just rotate that just a little bit. So just barely, so like 3 degrees gave us a little bit more horizontal type. Just kind of took that skew out of that type. And so now that we have our text just floating on the water, following along here, looks great. Looks like it's moving just along. We might even scale it up just a little bit. Let's add just a little bit of scale here. Maybe 170 or so. And let's take a look, make sure we didn't mess anything up. All right, looks great. So now that we have our text is nice and formatted, we have some facts about the island, then let's go ahead and stop there. In our next lesson, we'll be working on the reflection in the water.